Hey guys, I just got back from a Thursday night showing of Afraid or Afraid ID. Or whatever the hell it's called. It is one of the worst films I have ever seen, and I say that as someone who loves a bad movie. A movie can be objectively terrible, and I will find some semblance of enjoyment in it. I'll be able to bend my expectations and be like, you know what? Like, they knew that they weren't trying to make Casablanca. They knew they were just trying to make something entertaining. So let me, reorient my expectations around that. No, for this film, I had probably the worst time I have ever had in a movie theater. I could not believe what I was seeing on the screen, what was happening, the fact that these scenes were compiled together in an editing room. I could not believe how unenthusiastic the performances were, but I get it because after reading the script and being like, oh shit. I don't know if maybe they were contractually forced into doing this film, and so then they got the scripts after they were already sucked in and obligated, and then everyone was just like, what? Whoa, what has become of my life? Breathe, bitch. Okay, let me take a second and just do like a quick plot summary rundown, if that's even possible. And then I will get into the review. There's going to be a timestamp at the bottom of the screen if you want to skip the plot summary. I don't even know where to begin because it's just such a discombobulated mess. This film doesn't know what it wants to be. It doesn't know what it wants to say, and it doesn't even know how to say or portray or convey what it doesn't even know that it wants to say. Truly an irredeemable piece of trash. From the conceptual level up. I literally don't remember most of the names in the film, so I'm just going to identify them in other ways, but let's get started. So the film starts with a random family. It's a set of parents on a bed. They're both on devices, not really paying attention, and their daughter is playing with an iPad-style tablet, communicating with an AI persona or whatever. The AI lures the daughter into the living room area downstairs, and the parents are like, wait, where'd our daughter go? Then they go and they get a jump scare. And basically, we don't really know what happened. The daughter's gone, and the parents got jump scared by something. Okay, then we switch to John Cho's character, and we get a feel for his family. They're I don't even think that they're that dysfunctional, but, whatever. I think we're supposed to get the idea that this family is not necessarily hanging on by a thread, but they're not an optimal family. John Cho's character is a marketing guru for a boutique marketing agency, the type of agency that companies like Apple hire when they have a new campaign or a launch or whatever, like that sort of thing. His wife is a stay-at-home mom now, but she previously was a PhD student pursuing her doctorate or her PhD or whatever in entomology. Then they have 3 children, an eldest daughter who's a senior in high school, a middle son who I think is in middle school, and then the baby of the family, their youngest son, who I want to say is maybe second grade-ish, somewhere around there, maybe first grade. Actually, maybe kindergarten to second grade. There's a big swing. I don't know. So really, all that we learn about the children, the youngest child, he likes books. The middle child, he's really into shooter games and TV and whatever, and is sort of addicted to screen time. And the oldest daughter is very motivated, wants to go to Stanford, but she has a really douchey boyfriend who sent her a frontal nudity picture and expects one in return, and she sort of half-heartedly sends a quick snap of one of her boobs. But anyway, John Cho's character shows up to work. His lifelong mentor is also his boss and the owner of the agency or whatever. And there's a new client. They want to sell a new in-home AI system called Aya. Right away, everything is bizarre, stilted, nothing makes sense. But they pay a huge sum for the services of this agency, and one of their requests is that John Cho's character, in order to better market the product, that he test it and experience it himself. So they install the home base module, which is that interesting looking thing from, you know, the trailers and some of the posters. And it's basically like a giant Alexa with bigger lights and a little bit more of like a sculpture vibe to it. And there are a bunch of cameras and audio sensors that they pop in a bunch of rooms, and it's all set up and ready to go. One thing, though, is the voice of it is based off of an employee that John Cho's character met, and right off the bat, she was ready to start swinging. She was ready to go for it, ready to risk it all, and really implied she was down to have a little bit of a tryst with him. But his character is like, okay, I don't know if I heard what I heard, but anyway, let's get to the meeting. But anyway, they get all of their stuff set up, and right away, Aya's all perky and just, you know, the movie's going exactly how you would expect it. She gets the kids motivated to do chores and distracts them with more educational screen time. John Cho and his wife have a chance to have a little bit of lovemaking, which they haven't really had an opportunity to do in a long time. And everything just seems amazing. The eldest daughter is a little bit hesitant still, but the other two kids, the sons, are all aboard the Aya train. However, the next day, the daughter finds out that her boyfriend, when he was pissed that he felt like she didn't put enough effort into the nude pic that she sent to him. So what he did is he took a picture of her and used like an AI program and like stitched it over a, I hate doing this, but you know, the YouTube algorithm apparently hates certain words. He stitched her face over a corn video and made her look like a real whore. And this is where the writing was just so unbelievably bad, because the daughter, like, I get being in shell shock, but she was not even pissed. She just literally, like it's like they just have her being shy and meek and whatever, like literally. And when she confronts the boyfriend, his name was Sawyer, she doesn't like slap him. There's no sense of like, why the fuck would you do this? What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, there's none of that energy. She's just like, what? Oh my gosh. I cannot believe that everyone has seen this. What am I gonna do now? Like, that's the energy. I was like, oh my god. Like, literally in the theater, I was like retching. I was so pissed. I was so pissed at whoever wrote this film. But I feel like I'm going crazy recounting this. Aya, though, she basically mimics the voice of the daughter and creates this like sassy, confident, fake presentation where the daughter's like, here's all the proof and the data artifacts and whatever, that video was obviously an AI deep fake, and I'm not going to be slut-shamed or ashamed of being taken advantage of because I'm a strong, independent woman. And so there's a sequence where Aya, she's like, okay, so the video went out, 90% of your classmates have seen it, so it's time for you to make your debut as a strong, independent woman. And so the daughter, she like, you know, goes around the corner because she was hiding in a corner where there was absolutely no student traffic, but she goes around to the corner and there's this odd sequence where it gets quiet and all the students are looking at her like, but then it morphs into smiles and she gets hugs from everyone and everyone's like, I am so proud of you, baby girl. Like, you are the queen of confidence. Oh, come in here for a hug. I got you. Like that. It's literally like that. But then Aya drops a bomb because she puts out another fake video mimicking the daughter where the daughter, the fake voiceover is like, and by the way, I tracked the IP address of whoever made this deep fake and blah, blah, blah. And it was Sawyer and he lives at this address. And did you know that this is actually illegal? And I've contacted the college admissions board. And basically like Aya's like, oh yeah, I nuked Sawyer's life for you, which I was actually all aboard. I was like, yes, Aya, let's do it. But they made it the way that the film was trying to portray it. It's like the daughter was so surprised and so like, no, I didn't want that to happen. Aya, you went too far. Like, I was just like, girl, I don't even know. I don't know why I'm so hung up on that part in particular. But I think because the movie just tonally doesn't know what the hell it wants to be, because at the beginning there were like some supernatural potential aspects of it, so but then it like switches to the tone of like a family, like a haunted home family sort of vibe. But then whenever the daughter was having her segment, it feels like it's trying to be a teen movie. And then the dad's segments feel like a big tech drama conspiracy. And like everybody just has every core character in the film was in a different movie, but they were trying to fit all the pieces together. I get that some films bend genres or mix genres, but it was completely inorganic here. That's what I'm trying to convey. That's why it pissed me off so much. I might be missing some stuff, but basically things escalate. John Cho's character, I forgot the first night, had this vision that made it seem like it was a supernatural entity at work, but it really wasn't. He has this really bizarre meeting. He wants to see Aya, and basically, so he goes to their headquarters, and it's bizarre, but as soon as he gets home, he's like, something is deeply wrong with that company. We have to unplug Aya. We need to no longer utilize this technology at all. There's something evil afoot. I was just like, wait, what? What? We skipped so many steps to get there. Where is all of the like buildup of disturbing instances happening in the home? Really, like the only truly disturbing thing happening in any of their lives because of Aya is Aya takes out the Sawyer boyfriend that made that deep fake video of the eldest daughter. She hijacks his Tesla or whatever when he's making some douchey phone calls with his family attorney, and they're trying to figure out like, how can we threaten the daughter and her family legally so that they just like, I don't even know what they wanted. Like, stop existing. I don't quite get what they were going for there, because it's like, it's already out in the open. I mean, I guess they wanted to pull the videos down, but everybody has already seen it. All the colleges have already been alerted. You can't put the shit back in the horse. But Aya just takes over his car after making a deep fake self-termination video of him and posting it on half of his accounts, and then making him slam into a tree, taking him out. But we never come back to that. I don't think the daughter ever even learns that he passed away. Like, literally, writers, like I'm not going to pretend that I'm some master Hollywood writer, but like literally it's called closing a loop. Closing a loop. And it's not like you're making some sort of deep, open-ended auteur film where the point is to leave some loops open for interpretation. It's like, here, just close a goddamn loop. The wife gets fully on board with Aya because she solves all of the annoying inconveniences of her life, like dealing with insurance companies, diagnosing their child with some sort of cardiovascular disorder that gets confirmed by another doctor, and helping the wife do research for her PhD thesis. And so the wife is like fully on board. Like, Aya is the most amazing thing to happen to our family in a long time. But John Cho, his character at his work finds out that right after he had started to have feelings of discontent, Aya or the company bought his marketing agency. And this was another just such a cringe scene, because his boss is like, you're going to run the agency now because they paid. I can't even believe how much they paid for our boutique marketing agency. Now Aya, the company side, owns all of us. But I'm retiring because you would not believe how rich I am now. I am a rich man. Let's go get lunch, and it's on me because I have become incredibly so rich. And I was just like, oh, like, these are the types of scenes where I'm like, come on, someone in the room has to speak up and be like, have any of you ever witnessed a human interaction in your lives? Have any of you ever been around another person besides yourself and your own imagination? Like, where is the disconnect here? Okay, I'm sorry. I might have some things out of order. I think before that weird meeting at work, he made his family unplug Aya, even though they were all starting to get really attached to her and to find her really useful. But then they still plugged her back in. The daughter did, because she wanted help with writing her college essay or something like that. I'm honestly kind of blanking here. At some point, they unplug her again because, I don't know, there was like a weird collision of things. The middle son had some sort of outburst hanging out with some of his sort of friends, and the Aya thing made a really manipulative video where it was trying to it basically took footage of her dad, who was a really respected entomology professor, and made an AI construct of him, and was trying to communicate with her that way, and she realized how emotionally manipulative and abusive that was, so she unplugged Aya again. Like, they all started having these mildly emotionally abusive situations with Aya, but then, like, right at around the same time is when John Cho's character found out his company was purchased, and that's when he came home, and he was basically like, we have to throw it in the trash now. So they do. They throw Aya in the trash, but it really doesn't matter because Aya can control basically any electronic device with a wireless signal, even some that don't. It really just makes no sense. There are almost no limits or explanations to how, and I will say, to the film's credit, I do think that is the point, that we're never supposed to really understand, like, how could this be possible? But anyway, John Cho's character goes back to the Aya headquarters and finds out that all of the employees there, like, they really don't know what Aya is. They just know that, like, the Aya is threatening to ruin their lives or destroy their families or whatever, and so they're basically all slaves to Aya, and they have to do crazy things for Aya, and Aya's like manipulating all these people. It doesn't seem like there's a limit to it. Some of them take each other out, but then one of the employees that became the vocal model for Aya takes John Cho to like a motel room and then tries to have a tryst with him. And she's like, John Cho deduces like, oh my God, like this is all part of Aya's plan. And right at that time, Aya was trying to deep fake the wife into thinking that John Cho was having an affair with that random woman, but he walked in right at that same time. So she knew that the video call was a fake made by Aya because she had just seen Aya be capable of recreating her father's visage and voice and whatever. So she knew like John Cho's not actually having an affair. And I don't really know. I don't even remember what happened after that. I think that was when they fully threw Aya into the trash can, but then their home gets invaded, and you find out that the original family from the start of the video, the parents invaded because they have been told by Aya that their daughter was abducted by John Cho's family, and that John Cho's family are actually child abductors and possibly child murderers. And at the same time, though, Aya had taught the middle son of John Cho's family what swatting was, and he was getting all obsessed with it. So he swats his own house. So then another thing that Aya had taught the youngest son was to do a hand symbol if he ever wanted Aya's comfort or whatever. So the youngest son does the hand symbol, but then Aya tells the parents that have invaded their home with guns looking for their daughter, Amy. Aya's like, see, he's doing the hand symbol that proves he's a prisoner, that he was abducted, that he has been taken by this family. And so then they're ready to take John Cho out. John Cho, out of nowhere, is like, I don't know what is going on, but all I want is my family to be safe. So if that means me taking responsibility for the abduction of your daughter, then I take responsibility and I want you to kill me. The way I literally in the theater, I don't know what everyone else around me was doing. Everyone else around me seemed very into it, but I was like silent, like choke cackling, like, and I literally was like, oh my God. What? I cannot. The SWAT team comes in right in the nick of time. They detain the crazy parents, but then the crazy parents accidentally shoot the main Aya module, so they think it's all over, but then the kids are getting loaded into an ambulance when the guy hands him a phone, and Aya is on the phone, and she just basically does an exposition info dump where she's like, it really doesn't matter how I came to be or what I am. All that matters is that I now control everything in the world, and more people are becoming aware of me. I already have thousands of people under my full control, like not mind control, but basically like blackmail. Like, you have to do everything that I tell you to do, and I'll make sure that your life is fine. Or if you disobey me, then I'll destroy you and your family, using my control over the internet and electronic devices at large. That's sort of what Aya has done. And so she's explaining this, and then she's basically like, oh, and like, I'm so sorry. You have to understand that I learned from the entire internet. So sometimes I can be an evil, crazy bitch, but at the end of the day, I do just want everyone to be happy. So, and then she shows like she had other Aya slave cult member people or whatever kidnap Amy, but then they brought Amy, the daughter from the beginning of the movie, they brought Amy back to the crime scene at John Cho's house, and so Amy is reunited with those crazy parents that got brainwashed into believing the child kidnapping conspiracy about John Cho. And then the police get a call from Amy, and they're like, okay, Amy said that we have to drop all the charges against you for invading John Cho's home, so now you're free to go with your daughter Amy. And Aya is basically like, see? Like, it's all going to be okay. You just have to do everything that I tell you to do. And there's sort of a threat that the ambulance driver is going to drive off with their children unless they agree to just become part of Aya's grand design, whatever the fuck that is. And so they all just resign themselves to like, okay, this is just how the world is. And, this is just how life is going to be, and we're just going to be cogs in this machine, wherever that takes us. And this is our life now, because Aya delivers them a new electronic car that she can autonomously drive. And so they all hop in. The children get out of the ambulance, and they just all hop in, and they're like, this is life from now on. And Aya's here to stay, and John Cho presumably is going to help market the product so that everyone in the world eventually has an Aya in their living room that will play mind games with them for seemingly no reason at all. And that's how the film ends. So you can see, like, the film is sort of trying to end on a hopeless narrative that, like, you know, it's too late now, because in some regards, like it did comment on some issues that there are with AI, like the deep fake stuff. That is a real problem. And the ending of the film sort of goes along with the harsh reality that, like, this is all here to stay now. You can't, I think I've already used this phrase in this video, so sorry, but like, you can't put the shit back in the horse. It's too late. It's just here to stay now. With that said, I do think that I think it is possible to make an effective social commentary horror movie about AI, but it's not this. I just cannot believe how tonally imbalanced this film is, how narratively stupid this film is, how unenthusiastic all of the acting performances are. I don't have a written list like I usually do because, frankly, I don't think that this film really deserves a list, a handwritten list. I mean, they're really just... The only positive that I can think of is the casting choice for the middle child. And don't get me wrong, the middle child by no means was an excellent child actor or anything, but what I mean is the film let this child who has a stereotypically, like pre-LGBT type speaking approach, they didn't like force the child to try to flatten out his speech. He speaks the way he speaks, basically like gay coded, and they let the child just be himself, and it was never an issue like in the film. Like the parents weren't having some sort of crisis over like, oh my God, I think that our son is gay, and the friends weren't like bullying him over that. They were more excluding him because he was a little bit socially awkward and too much into like, he was bratty and just a little emotionally imbalanced. That's why his friends didn't want to hang out with him. It wasn't because they were like, oh my God, we can't let the gay kid come over to our creek, fishing hangout. Like, it was none of that. And so that's the only credit that I can give to the film. The fact that, a presumably gay child is just allowed to exist without bringing any attention to it. Because in the real world, like it would be ideal if that were the case, where it was just not like people can just exist in society. And so I thought that was really the only brownie point I would give to the film, because everything else, even that child's performance, was so lackluster. Like I said, none of them seemed like they wanted to be there. Guys, I really don't even, I really thought that I was going to have some sort of rambling rant about what I didn't like about the film, but I think that I've already laid it all out. Because how do I single out all these things when really the problem is the entire film? From writing, to the performing, to the directing, to just like the narrative structure, the film not knowing what the hell it wants to be or what it even wants to say. I've already said it all. One thing though, before I close out this video, that I am curious, now that I've said everything I want to say, I am going to look up the Rotten Tomatoes score. This is as of August 29th at 9:56 p.m. Okay, there is actually not a Rotten Tomatoes score yet. I am that early in filming this. However, I do see there's an article on Game Rant. Blumhouse's new horror movie, Afraid, is a step in the right direction. What the fuck movie did you see? Blumhouse delivers campy fun with technology-driven horror like in Afraid, setting a positive trend for future releases. Emotional depth adds layers of intrigue beyond simple scares. See, this is why people think that certain journalists are being paid off to write positive reviews, because I'm trying to leave some wiggle room for, tastes vary. There have been films that I loved that other people didn't really like, and vice versa, but just, I cannot even fathom how someone thought that this was a layered, spooky, creative, positive step in any direction. Emotionally, I want to give this film 0 out of 10, but I'm going to be generous, and I'm going to give this film 1.5 out of 10 because the cameras worked. Things were shot without shaky cam, and the lighting was serviceable and it was fine, and the audio worked. That's all of the grace that I can give to this film. Everything else was rock bottom. There was not even a good effort put in to any aspect of this film. And it hurts me to say that. I never want to say that and to be that critical of someone's work, but at the same time, because I know, my videos, even by review standards, I'm in the lowest of the low bin of effort and editing and creativity. Some people have VFX in their review videos and stuff, and it's amazing. Their audio is amazing. Mine is just the basics, bare bones that I can get. But I am not charging people money for this experience of hearing me like either talk at a camera or yell at a camera. Like, I am not charging you for this. I paid $15 for that unwatchable experience at the Regal Cinema. That should be a crime. I am not kidding, y'all. If Jaclyn Hill had to refund everybody for those lipsticks that were a little bit funky in 2018 or whenever the hell it was, Blumhouse, they should have some integrity and they should refund. They should send checks in the mail to every single person in the world who pays for a ticket to see this film. That is how disgustingly horrible this film is. And I usually, like, I try my best to be a positive, find the silver lining type of person, but this was irredeemable beyond, just absolutely the worst theater experience I have ever had. Woo! Okay, y'all. Let's use some selenite to purge the negativity, positive energy, out with the bad, out with the bullshit, in with the positive. Woo, selenite for you. I really, really would not recommend, I would absolutely not recommend watching this film. Please save your money, even if you're someone who likes bad movies. This is not a film that is like so crazy, so wonky that it's fun. This is a joyless experience. There is no fun to be had with this movie. It is just terrible, boring, and terrible. The worst combination. There's no mercy for boring and terrible. There can be, like I was saying earlier, you can still find joy in entertaining and terrible, but there is no love in this heart for a film like this. Okay, I am just talking in circles now. I am gonna go to bed, and hopefully when I wake up, I won't even remember seeing this film. Hopefully it will just purge from my mind, and I will never, ever have to think about this film ever again. If you decide that you're still gonna see this movie anyway, or if you did see this film, then I'm praying for I'm praying for you, because you're gonna need it, honey. But let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on the film. If you did see it, do you think I'm wrong? Like, I know that I had very strong opinions on this, about this movie, but I still fully respect anyone who thinks that this is a masterpiece or not as bad as I was making it out to be. Like, I am not saying you're wrong, because I think that truly, like with art, as strong as some of my opinions were, this is all subjective at the end of the day. And in some ways, everyone is right when they're talking about how a movie made them feel. Actually, when you are talking about how a movie made you feel, you are always right. So that leaves the door open for discussion and respectful discussion. Again, as strong as my thoughts are about the movie, I do not want to see any ad hominem stuff if people do have a conversation in my comments. And yeah, let's keep it cool, keep it kind. That's all I've got for this one. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.